Robert Finnerty, we're here at Electric Ireland. They're launching year 3 of the first class rivals. So I'm going to start off with you with a Q&A, quick fire stuff. Your first time at Croke Park, when was that?
Jeez, I honestly couldn't tell you. I'd say I was a young lad. My dad's been dragging me there from a very young age. But I'd say the first time I actually remember being in Croke Park is in 2006 when my club won the Club All Ireland. Right. That's my earliest memory. I remember it was absolutely freezing there. We just about got the win. It was a win. I think it was about 7-6 or something. It was a low-scoring game.
And how old would you have been at that stage? You're what, about 20, 21, 22?
I was young. I was only, let's say, probably 8, 9. That's my earliest memory. Anyway, I'm sure I was there beforehand. My dad would have been dragging me there from an awful young age. But that's the first time I can remember being there. Anyway.
So I suppose the love from football came from watching Salthill-Knocknacarra, did it?
Yeah, it did. And just my dad always had me really involved in football from a young age. So kind of always loved football, always loved playing it, and was always watching it, just going everywhere with my dad, playing football, watching it, so it was good crack.
Who's your favourite player of all time?
Oh, that is a tough one now. Is this from any county? Oh, I'd say probably the Gooch. It'll have to be.
Yeah? I thought you were going to pick a Mayo person there for a second.
Like the Gooch. I don't know, my favourite Mayo of all time.
Oh, you don't have to go there. I was just thinking you'd
No, it'd be the Gooch, my favourite of all time. It'd have to be.
So who's the most famous person who follows you online?
The most famous person who follows me online? Probably Shane Walsh.
Not bad, yeah. Who's been your toughest opponent?
My toughest opponent? Jesus, this is any county, any training or anything for Galway? Maybe Conor Campbell from Galway. He's a lad my age. We've had a lot of battles growing up for Clare Galway. So, or Mark Mannion from Mount Bellew. I've got a few cleanings from him.
What's the team you most like to beat? And this could be club, county, college, whatever.
The team I'd most like to beat, I suppose Dublin. They're the benchmark for football. Or Kerfin then with Salthill, of course.
Who's been the biggest influence in your career?
It'd have to be my dad, I'd say. Yeah. He'd been bringing me to football and kind of coaching me since I was young. He's been involved with nearly all my teams, so I suppose it'll be him.
What's your favourite stadium?
Croke Park. Yeah, have to be.
Hard to beat. What's the best atmosphere you've played in?
I'd say probably the All Ireland semi-final against Donegal. I was a minor.
Okay. So what's the what's been the biggest disappointment in your career?
Losing the All Ireland minor and under 21 finals 2 years in a row. Losing All Ireland finals is a sickener.
Yeah, that would be tough to take. Who's the joker on your panel?
On the Sigerson panel?
No, the joker on your on Galway panel.
Galway panel. Barry McHugh.
Really? Yeah. Why?
He's just good crack. He'd always be messing around.
Who's the best trainer?
The best trainer. I couldn't tell you. I honestly wouldn't. No one springs to mind. There's lots of good trainers there.
We have to get the best dressed and the worst dressed.
The best dressed.
There's surely plenty of shapers in Galway.
Oh, there's rakes of them. I don't want to be complimenting anyone too much now with the best dressed. I'll go with Desi Keneally for the best dressed and Cian Darcy for the worst dressed.
All right, okay. Who loves the media attention?
Who loves them? That'll probably be Shane Walsh, I'd say, maybe.
Who thinks the women love them?
Desi thinks the women loves them. Desi Keneally.
What player do you admire from another sport?
From another sport, Luka Doncic, basketball.
Oh yeah, he's very good.
Yeah, he's class.
And what manager from another sport?
None really ring a bell, to be honest. I like Jurgen Klopp, to be honest. He's a great relationship with his players, so I suppose Jurgen Klopp would be the man.
He's a popular answer on that one.
Yeah,
just to talk then about, before we get on to talk about Galway, talk about just Corofin, because you played against them with Salthill-Knocknacarra this year. I believe you scored a goal against them. How tough are they, and what are Nemo Rangers going to be coming up against in the All-Ireland semi-final?
Oh, geez, Corofin they're unbelievable for a club team. They're so good at linking up with each other. They all kind of know each other so well. They know where the next pass is going to go, all of them, and then defensively then they're very good. They've all their backs can go forward. They're all just very good natural footballers, and they just have a great style of play as well. So Nemo, of course, will be up against it.
So when you're trying to analyse and prepare for Corofin, you're just preparing for there's fires all over the field trying to put them on.
All over the pitch. Like you'd almost have to mark their backs as much as you have to mark their forwards, because they're all so technically good. Like, and then just kind of you'd be trying to just stop the fast ball, stop their forwards linking up together. Like, because once they get going, there's no stopping them really.
How hard is it to break into this kind of Galway team? I was looking at, I think it was your club's Facebook page, and they were talking about making your debut in 2018. I'm not sure if that was club, or sorry, if that was league or championship. But how tough is it to break into that team? Because, you know, Damien Comer, Shane Walsh, Eamon Brannigan, Ian Burke.
Yeah, no, it is. It's very hard, especially as a forward, because there are so many talented forwards in Galway. Like, even just the lads you named there, like Ian, Shane, Damo, Eamon, like there's rakes of other lads as well. Like, that's just even all the Corofin forwards. Like, they're all great players, and there's other lads then, Adrian Varley, like, you know, there's just a lot of good footballers in Galway, a lot of good forwards.
Would you back yourself? Like, is that the way it is? Like, you have to win there?
That's the way it is, but like that's kind of the level that I have to get at this stage, and the level that I like to think I'm at. So hopefully I'll break into it soon enough anyway.
And what about Padraic Joyce taking over as manager? Kevin Walsh has been there for 5 or 6 years, but Padraic taking over is like a county icon.
Yeah, it is. It's great. Obviously, he'd be one of the best footballers to ever play for Galway. So, especially for myself as a forward, you'd be kind of just trying to learn from him, really, trying to take a piece of his game and try add it to mine. Like, get advice off him, as much advice as I can.
And what sort of stuff does he say to you? Because having spoken with him in the past, he very much does like an attacking branded football. He's not interested in blanket defences.
Yeah, of course he'd have an attacking mentality, but I've been kind of busy now myself with exams and Sigerson football, so I'm only just we're only in there now a short time, like, so it's only early days yet, but I'm hoping to learn from now in the future anyway.
Where do you think Galway are at in the pecking order? You know, there was the All-Ireland semi-final the year before last, but then, you know, obviously it came a cropper against Mayo this year, but where do you think Galway are at?
Well, there's the semi-final 2 years ago, of course, kind of showed what Galway are capable of, and there's a lot of talented footballers in Galway, so I'd like to think we're up there with the best.
And you know, when you played in the All-Ireland Under-21 final in 2017 against a Dublin team that would have a lot of the star men, including Con O'Callaghan and that kind of thing. Like, I think you lost by 6 points that day. Desi Farrell was over that team. I presume you knew exactly what you were coming up against, and you know what Dublin are getting for this new season, having Desi involved.
Yeah, geez, they were a very well drilled team that day. They were strong. Now, myself, I was only just out of minors, so I wouldn't have been fully developed. Like, I was only let's say 18, still doing my leaving cert. Like, so I'd like to think I've come a long way since then. But of course, judging from that day, there was a well drilled Dublin team, and I'm sure it'll be a lot of the same this year.
And like, that was a tough day at the office, was it? Just
yeah, especially personally now. I had an absolute shocker that day. I didn't get too many kicks to the ball. I was gone, I think, after 30 minutes.
Really? Is that something that, like, you know, because of course the manager will say to you, don't worry about that, you're a young player, you'll go again. Did that take you a while to get over?
Kinda, yeah. Just after the game, obviously I would have been disappointed in myself, but sure, I knew myself. I was only young. I was 18. I still had 2 more years at that grade, like, so. I still had time to prove myself. I could have been the youngest player in the pitch that day, so I didn't take it too much.
Okay, thanks very much, Robert. Best of luck.